Aloha. My number is 4834. My name is Lani Kosi. I appreciate that I have this chance to speak out to strongly against same-sex marriage. I was born in China and immigrated from Japan. I'm a professional culture exchange expert between Hawaii and Asian countries. According to the data from Hawaii Truth Authority annual report, in 2012, there are almost 400,000 people from Asian countries coming to Hawaii for honeymoon or get married. Their total spending is over 7 billion. According to the data from National Association of International Educators, between 2011 to 2012, just by foreign college students only, the net contribution to the state economy is over 1 billion. If Asian students is 40%, contribution by Asian students is 42 million. As a citizen, finally, I'm very concerned about if this bill is passed, what will affect our Hawaii economy. None of the Asian countries have same-sex marriage. Due to their traditional culture, eventually they will stop coming for school, stop coming for honeymoon, stop coming for visiting, stop coming to our beautiful Hawaii. Can our beautiful Hawaii survive without them, without truth?
Okay, thank you.
My number is 4835. My name is Zhang Anna Eugene. I need help my language.
Honorable Chair and Representative, I strongly oppose same-sex marriage. Same-sex marriage will destruct our social structure and social value. How can a same-sex couple generate their own blood-related child and generation? I support traditional marriage, which is based on only one male and one female. We cannot mix up the gender of a human being by passing same-sex marriage. The term of equality needs to be redefined. Equality must be based on traditional marriage, which is based on one male and one female. I sincerely urge you stop same-sex marriage, SB1 marriage, and let the people in Hawaii vote on this important issue. Again, I oppose same-sex marriage, SB1 bill. Thank you. May God bless our state of Hawaii.
Okay, thank you. Next.
My name is Donna Ann Agor. Number is 4947. I strongly oppose the Senate Bill 1 and strongly urge the House of Representatives to abolish SB 1. Why? This is another invasion from foreigners with evil designs to overthrow Hawaii. The title of the SB 1 Hawaii Marriage Equality Act 2013 is deceiving and a camouflage to destroy and oppress Hawaii people and its sanctity of eternal marriage between one man and one woman. The SB 1 is an abomination against eternal laws and unconstitutional. It was written by those with evil designs. Remember, the U.S. and Hawaii Constitution was written righteously under the inspiration of our eternal lawgiver, who is God, our eternal Father. The U.S. and Hawaii Constitution was founded on strong Christian religious values, oaths and covenants, and principles of eternal laws. God, our eternal Father, does not compromise with those with evil designs. Thus, the Senate bill has no moral fiber, has an evil design to destroy the souls of humanity and sanctity of marriage between one man and one woman. Therefore, SB1 must be abolished. The Declaration of Independence was written in righteousness under God to protect the moral freedom from those with evil designs, tyranny, and secret combination. Thus, stated in Declaration of Independence, any form of government becoming destructive to these ends, and it is the rights of the people to alter and abolish and institute a new government. Thus, I am calling for the House of Representatives to look into the procedures for an impeachment for the Hawaii governor based on the Hawaii Constitution, Article 3, Section 19, and the resignation of the Hawaii governor, Neil Abercrombie, and those who had voted in favor of these evil designs. SB1 to overthrow Hawaii. To put an end to this mockery, the Senate bill must be abolished now. Thank you.
Next up, please come up.
Write this number down, 5860034. You can contact Governor Neil Abercrombie telling him how you do not appreciate this. My number is 4196. To the thousands of you upstairs in the rotunda, keep doing what you are doing. Supporting those of us who will speak on behalf of those who cannot.
Okay, excuse me. Let me stop you.
Stop the clock, please. Thank you.
Hold on. His number is 4196.
Sorry. My number is 4916.
Okay, go ahead.
Neil Abercrombie's phone number is 5860034. To the thousands of you upstairs in the rotunda, keep doing what you are doing, supporting us who can only speak for those who cannot speak. To the thousands of you upstairs, keep fighting on. To the thousands of you who are watching online, who are watching on TV, we are the people. We are the ones who have voted these people in, and we can take away their seats. These are the people who are supposed to be representing us. Over the last few days, thousands of people have called, have emailed, have knocked on representatives' doors voting on this bill. Thousands more have sacrificed their time and their effort and their resources. Thousands more have spent money on this to be here. People have not been here, have not celebrated their birthdays or their anniversaries just so that they can represent their voice and speak their part in 2 minutes. Is there a problem? Special sessions are not to be held for these purposes. They are to be held when there is war or imminent threat, not same-sex marriage. The homosexual has the same right as the heterosexual, the opportunity to marry someone of the same sex, and they are not the only ones who are restricted to marriage. Men are not able to marry their daughters. Women are able to marry their nephews. They have the same rights as us. People who are under the age of 16 aren't allowed to marry either. They are not advocating for marriage equality and equal rights. They are advocating for special rights. Thousands have spoken no on this issue. We all get the feeling that this is just a technicality from all of these representatives. But I remind you, we will not forget HawaiiRemembers.com. HawaiiRemembers.com. We need to show them we are intolerant of any kama'aina who do not ascribe to the life that honors this fact.
Okay, thank you.
Uamau
Next
ke'eo
up.
oka'aina
Next up.
ikapono.
Okay, wait, hold on just a sec. Mr. Kuroda, is this a group of 5,000s or the rest of it?
Still between 46 and 5.
Okay, can we take the rest of the 5,000s as well? Everybody in the 5,000 block.
About 5,000.
Yeah. So until the 5182, that's the last one, right? So anyone with any 5,000 numbers, if they could check in. Thank you very much. Okay, please go ahead.
My name is Jimbo Chang. My number is 4979. I'm a voter and I oppose SB1 bill. Good afternoon, Chairperson and representatives. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to testify. In the past few days, I have heard thousands of testimony, and it seems to me everyone has his own opinions, and most of the points cannot come across each other. For example, the Christians are based on the Bible as the moral standards, and the supporters are based on their own standards or no standards at all. It seems to, just to give you an example, we cannot come into a common ground. You may not understand if I say, 你们都是一群混蛋, I just say that you are just a whole bunch of mixed egg. But you cannot understand what I said before. I just want you to vote for no to this bill so they can give the community more time to discuss, to dialogue. One thing that I know is the God in the heaven is not pleased what's happening over here now. And this is offended him. And if we can stop and vote no to stop this bill, we might be able to delay the next tsunami or hurricane strike on this island. That's a prophecy. Okay. The reason that I married, in my opinion, the marriage is between a sacred union between one man and one woman.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Xu Liang, and my number is 4974. Dear Honorable Chairs and members of House and Judiciary and Finance Committee, thank you very much for giving me the chance to voice out my opinion. I'm here to show my opposition to Bill SB1. Natural marriage, which means one man and one woman forms a family and has been there for thousands of years. Marriage produces and raises next generation of humanity, which every society needs. But raising children is much more than taking care of them and giving love to them. Mother and father have different responsibilities and are very important and have very important roles for their children. I know how crucial it is that mom and dad's role for the children from my own experience. I am the mother of 2 kids, a boy who is a college freshman and a girl who is now in elementary school. Like many typical teenager boys, my son went through up and downs in his high school years. There was a time I did not see any hope. My son fought with us every day, almost on every issue. Looking back, the acceptance, encouragement, consolers, and love from both mom and dad, not only from dad, not only from mom, are very critical for my son's turning back. Mom's love is warm and gentle, and dad's love is tough and powerful. A family with mother and father is a whole family for children. Now, same-sex marriage is about redefining marriage and forcing everyone to accept experimental families with 2 moms and 2 dads. I am strongly against S1B for our own society. Redefining marriage is very important and is very critical.
Thank you very much.
Issue.
Next,
Should
please.
not be rushed to pass for just
I'm sorry, next,
6
please.
days without consulting
Excuse
people's
me.
voice.
Next, please.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is William Saltz, but my friends and family call me Joey. My number is 4774. I believe that marriage is ordained of God to be between a man and a woman, not a man and a man or a woman and a woman. I know this because of my conscience and my religious beliefs. I am a Boy Scout, and our oath states that I should be morally straight, and I don't want to be taught about homosexuality in Scouts. One thing is, my sister wants to be a teacher, and I don't want her to be forced to teach same-sex marriage, and I don't want to be forced to learn same-sex marriage as well. Hawaii is the 50th state, so let's take 50 years before we consider same-sex marriage. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Aloha. My name is Anson Rago, number 4826, born and raised in Hawaii. I've been an attorney in Waianae for over 40 years in general practice. Like Joey, the Boy Scout before me, age 12, this was his first time to testify. This is my first time to testify in prison. I oppose Senate Bill number 1 as drafted. I previously forwarded written testimony and legal reasons. Please ask me at the end if you have any questions about the religious exemption and the divorce provisions, and I will try to assist you. Both are defective and problematic. Question today, why has the Board of Education not testified? I looked through all the testimony. They're right down the street. People have come here from all over the islands. Where are they? Why haven't they given written testimony? Why hasn't the the Department of Education also not given written testimony or testified? Nearly 5,000 people that have testified here, and the thousands more that have given you concerns, are concerned about our public school curriculum, teachers, and children, like what is happening today in Massachusetts and other states in Canada. Where are our educational leaders? Did someone tell them not to come? Second, please do not go into secret conference committee with Chairman He and the Senate. We know how they treated us in that particular committee. Let the TV and radios come in to your conference. Finally, by approving this bill in any form, you will be deciding the people cannot decide to vote. Please allow the people to vote, because many of them, including some of the legislators that allowed us to have this constitutional amendment, thought that you had only the power to reserve the right, for people to marry.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha.
Oh, no.
My name is Guy Ante, and my number is 4852. And I thank you all for staying here so long all these days. You are blessed for doing that. I am concerned. I'm against the same-sex marriage because I have a son, and I have over, I don't know how many kids from UH. I've been a volunteer coach football at UH for 26 years. And I'm so concerned about them because I never had to go through that. They didn't even teach me any kind of sex in school. And why they're starting to do it now, especially in gay sexual relationships, I don't understand it. But anyways, I'm opposed to it, and I thank you, and I seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added on to me, and I declare and I believe that this bill will be defeated. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Owen Tanoe. My number is 4889. I stand in strong opposition to Senate Bill 1 for the sake of my faith, my family, and our island's future. By now you have heard convincingly from a rich cross-section of our island ohana. The diversity of our peoples and cultures from Kupuna to Keiki have been well represented. Overwhelmingly, our voices have come together to echo the same basic appeal to you. Please allow us, the people, to make the call on SB1 with the proper time and setting to thoroughly discuss and deliberate the matter. There's nothing pono about this special session and the manufactured urgency and maneuvering that led to it. So how do we get ourselves out of this divisive mess? Regardless of whether you personally favor or oppose SB1, I urge you to cast your vote for all the people by voting against the passage of this bill during this special session. And though a majority vote would suffice, imagine what would happen if you could, within committees, come together and link arms as Democrats and Republicans, as those favoring and those opposing this bill, and unanimously reject this bill on the basis of the crippling limitations inherent in this session. You'd send a clear message to us, the people, that you did in fact hear our cry, and that you are committed to our rights as citizens to full and meaningful participation in our government. You'd also send a welcome shockwave through a cynical nation that at least in Hawaii, the State House refuses to compromise the rights of all its people for the benefit of any one issue, political plank, or special interest group. Such unity requires great courage and integrity on your part. But a watching world needs to be reassured that we in Hawaii and America do in fact uphold a democracy that is of the people, by the people, and for the people, as opposed to one that is of the few, by the few, and for the few. Aloha ke akua ia oe. God's love to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
My name is Minghui Berg. My number is 4909. Thank you for all the senator, the patient to listen our voice. I'm a pastor wife. I oppose SB1 because as Christian, we support traditional marriage between a man and a woman. Family is the foundation of a country. Of course, we love all people and have no ill feeling toward homosexuals. Everyone may own decision, but law shall help and protect the people and the concern for next generation. Law is a system of rules and the guidelines which are enforced through social institutions to govern behavior. I fear that if SB1 passes, GLBT curriculum will be promoted in our public school or community, even in church. The issue of a same-sex marriage should be decided by the people after much more research and debate. Not rushed through in special session. Mahalo. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Dear representatives, I am Sujan Situ and my number is 4971. I am a taxpayer and a registered voter living on East Oahu. Thank you all very much for listening. First of all, I'd like to share a request from my 12-year-old daughter. SB1 has been our dinner table topic in the last couple of days. This is what she told me last Saturday night. She said, "Mom, please ask the representatives to vote no to SB1 because you need to think for the children. There are 3 reasons. If this bill passes, 1, it's sad for the children in the same-sex marriage family because they may never be able to know completely who they are. They will never know who their real mom and dad is. For someone who are emotional, this can even make them feel very depressed, and they may even commit suicide. It's dangerous. Number 2, it's sad for the little ones, especially those kindergarteners. They love their teachers and listen to them very much. They like to copy them, but they don't know much about right and wrong. They may become gay and lesbian if the teacher said that's right. It's sad and not fair. And it's sad for the teachers also because this makes their job very hard. They cannot lie, but they don't want to say anything they think is not right. We may have no good teachers then. I am very proud of my daughter. Now I want to speak for myself. Born and raised in China, I know Chinese are very traditional and conservative. Offspring is critical that we have a saying. There are 3 ways to be unfilial. The worst is not produce offspring. And there are a lot more similar sayings. It's very unlikely Chinese can take same-sex relationship, not even mention same-sex marriage. We had heard a lot in this room about how the hurt may bring to this state if caused by the passing this bill caused by the reduce of tourists and students. I'm not an expert in it, but I have a report here shows.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you.
My name is Kenvy Daniel Parker, and my number is 4823. Dear Chairman Rhodes, Chair Luke, and members of both the House Committee or Judiciary and Finance, I thank you first for allowing me this opportunity to speak before you. I'm asking you to allow the people to decide on the issue of marriage, as I believe the legislature is going against the will of the people. This bill, I strongly believe, is also going against the values and the morals of this state that was founded and rooted in Christianity. I support equality for all. I was raised to love everyone no matter their choices in life, and this I choose, I believe, should be kept private between the two individuals involved and their God. I believe that the Bible clearly explains marriage as God intended it to be between one man and one woman. As a concerned voter, I feel my rights of having a free religion are being stripped away, along with my rights to voice my opinion. I ask you to respect my rights and concerns as being an elected leader. Same-sex marriage should not be passed in a special session. It should be voted on by the people. My question to you is, why is it being rushed? What's the hurry? Why are we being set aside and pushed aside as if though our opinion doesn't matter? I believe that we should be able to vote just like we voted for you to be in office, just like we voted for the president, just like we vote for anything else in this country. The United States is supposed to be a free country. Let us vote. Let the people voice their opinion and see where we stand in. 1998, they said no. Why is it coming up again? I believe that if you let the people vote, you will find out that this state of Hawaii does not want same-sex marriage. I strongly oppose this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Dear Honorable Chairs, Rhodes and Luke, and members of the House Judiciary and Finance Committee, my name is Sarah Yuan. My number I got is 4922. I am a sociologist and a wife, a mother of 2 teen girls, and a Hawaii Kai resident. I'm here to voice my opposition to Bill SB1. I'm very concerned about this bill, not only because it is against my religious belief on family and marriage, but I'm also deeply concerned because this bill has put Hawaii's citizens against each other. It divides our people without much necessary. There is a democratic process that we could decide on marriage and same-sex marriage. But if the legislators decide to make a decision with these special sessions on the bill, I think it will have great cost to the society as a whole. As we all know, Hawaii is a place where people respect each other and embrace each other's differences. The opposition voice that you hear these many days are really major concerns about this bill and how it could hurt a group of people, a large group of people who hold their religions seriously. And also, the cost to our children. Many studies have shown, or you have heard, that there is no differences. But I can tell you, with my specialties, I can answer more questions about the sampling
please.
And the results of those studies. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Jason K. Higa, a molecular biologist born and raised in Oahu, and I'm number 4927. I'm speaking in support of SB1 because I firmly believe in everybody's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I also believe what Jesus said, to love your neighbor as yourself. Many of my fellow Christians here have said, I love my gay family and friends, but and use that to qualify why they think their friends' rights and values are immoral and inferior to their own. It's just like when people say, I don't mean to be racist, but, or I can't be racist, I have a black friend. Statements like that are thin veils to justify and excuse bigoted remarks. There's also misconception that marriage is exclusive to us Christians. Buddhists, atheists, and people without religion can still marry with full legal rights. Therefore, marriage in our nation is independent of a Christian God. People are claiming that our First Amendment rights will be violated. However, these people are failing to look beyond their own religion and recognize the diversity of beliefs we have in Hawaii and realize that other people have a right not to be subject to religious dogma of others. Other Kanaka have invoked Umauke'ea Oka'aina Ikapono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. People are also wondering what will happen to our children. Parents, your children will encounter things that conflict with your beliefs. If your beliefs are indeed righteous and pono, then they will perpetuate your values and keep them. However, if your values are based on fear, ignorance, and prejudice, then they will not hold as your children experience life. If you strongly believe in your own values, why do you fear all of them will come undone due to the happiness in other people's lives? Studies regarding same-sex parenting finding that the primary factors affecting a child's well-being is not their parent's sexuality, but family cohesion, parental time, and security. Aren't those all family values that we can agree on? Believe it or not, same-sex couples seem to have a lot more values in common with the rest of us. So the opposition is saying, let the people decide. I say to you, let the people decide on their own marriage, not yours, not mine, not anybody else's. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Next up.
My name is Zhizhong Chen. My name is 4973. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to stand here to oppose SB1. I'm from China. I'm the PhD student in the University of Hawaii at Manoa. In my family, there are 4 people: my father, my mother, my sister, and me. They have different roles for my father and mother, whose role cannot be replaced by each other. My father is more fun and strong, while my mother is more serious and soft. Parents are the children's first and important lifetime teachers and role models. Raising up us is not just about providing us the food and finally supporting us, but also setting up an example for us how to be responsible and accountable husband and wife. I believe everyone's noticed that nowadays so many Chinese people come to Hawaii for tour and for school. They go shopping and buy a lot of stuff at the Waikiki outlets and Alamana Center, etc. So many Chinese parents send their children to come Hawaii to study in the private middle school and the university, but none of the Asian countries have the same-sex marriages. If this SB1 passed, it stops them to come to Hawaii because they will feel uncomfortable and weird. Parents will not send their children to study in the Hawaii. That will be the big loss. So I'm strongly against SB1 for our society. This critically important issue that cannot be rushed to pass for just 6 days. Let the bill go the regular season. At least let the people to vote. Thank you for your hard work for the people of Hawaii.
Thank you very much. Before the next testifier, we're going to take a short recess.
Hi, my name is Lak Iguchi. I'm 4956. I stand in opposition of SB1 for multiple reasons. One being that you have stripped away my voice from 1998. I find it to be an injustice and a criminal act upon my rights as a citizen. I do not give you any proxy nor right to vote yes in my name. Saying that, another reason I oppose the SB1, you do not have enough factual, qualified information coming to a conclusion. And I fear that some may sound authoritative, but is not substantiated. The words can be detrimental. Just as words say separation of church and state is in the Constitution and the people believed it, it is not. This is nowhere to be found in the Constitution that there is separation of church and state, and I have my Constitution with me. The other thing is, for this reason, I refute the testimony given by the woman of many degrees who stated there are many in her profession that say transgender is not a choice. Her statements are not proven to be fact. I refute her statements on the studies and research that she says correlates with her testimony. These are only theories, no fact. Research and clinical studies are usually funded by the company or group that wants to prove their product or theory. My company funds many such studies where a clinical study is done to protect the outcome of bias. We do double-blind studies, research that are peer-reviewed, that are established, the integrity of the study as well as the company by doing that. Then the results are published in medical journals such as these, and our studies have a conclusion that are facts. If I did not have the physical proof to this, I have links that could direct you to it. I also have a list of all the studies that were done to substantiate our medical claims. I refute her statements leading to inherent traits. If there are more than one transgender in a family, again, that's a theory. I say it is learned. What a child sees, processes, and learns, then chooses to participate. Is cooking an inherent trait? Many in a family do it. Why do we have culinary schools?
Thank you very much. Okay, at this point, let's stop and does anybody have any questions for this last batch of testifiers? Representative Fale. I understand. We're on a different. It's about the place to break. I'm sorry. So, thank you.
I have one for the gentleman that has the same haircut style as me, who. I don't see him. He was standing in the back earlier.
Okay.
I think he might have walked out during the recess, Chair.
Anybody else?
At the actual end of if he walks back in before the end of the back.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
Vice Chair Har.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is number 4826 still here? Mr. Anson Rigo? Good afternoon, Mr. Rigo. It's nice to put a face to a name. You're a very well-respected attorney from the Leeward side, so thank you for all that you do representing the people from the Leeward side.
Mahalo.
I want to ask you a question because you talked about divorce as well as you talked about the religious exemption language. You touched upon it. Yesterday we had a family law attorney who had been in private practice for 25 years who had some issues with that divorce proceeding section.
I heard some of her testimony. Yes, she is a family law practitioner. I'm a general practitioner.
So have you done divorce proceedings?
Yes.
Okay, so what she was basically stating was that in this particular section, there's no domicile requirement.
Yes.
So if a heterosexual couple wants to get a divorce in the state or in the state of Hawaii, is there a domicile requirement?
Yes, there's 3 months in the circuit and 6 months in the state of Hawaii.
Okay, but you understand that in this particular, have you read this provision, Mr. Rigo?
I'm sorry?
Have you read this provision on pages 14 through 15 regarding the divorce proceedings?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so
I'm sorry. Is there?
I'm trying. What is your concern with it?
We've been over this topic before with someone who was. Is there some question about what?
Yes, there is.
You mentioned it, Chair.
Here's the problem with that section. First of all, it does give preferences to same-sex couples that it would not give to heterosexual couples. It allows them, after they're married in Hawaii, to leave the state and come back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and file for a divorce. Now, the problems with that, of course, is due process.
My point is, Vice Chair, is this question was asked and answered yesterday, and I don't think the answer has changed.
Mr. Chairman, I actually don't think we got into due process with all due respect, so would it be possible
Could
for
we please, yes.
Okay.
Please,
Thank you.
hurry.
I'm sorry.
Please continue.
Continue? Okay.
Be as quick as possible. Thank you.
Yes. The problem, of course, besides due process and equal protection, is that the courts, this bill would allow, and of course there's been 3 or 4 bills in the last 8 days, but this particular bill does say that a person can come, that was in Hawaii years previously, can come back and only do a divorce without the jurisdictional domiciliary requirements. There's a Supreme Court case, a Williams case, many, many years ago that said you had to meet these requirements. The problem is that the family court in Hawaii does not like to take care of granting a divorce without taking care of the other issues, such as children. But they can't, in this particular statute, as written, to take care of that issue of children unless both same-sex couples come back 10, 20 years from now or 5 years from now to have that adjudicated. So they would grant the divorce. What about the children? What about their parentage? What about their custody? What about their education? What about their child support? You can't do that in the family court, in my understanding, presently.
Okay. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Rigo.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Members, any other questions? Okay, go ahead.
The gentleman with the same style haircut. I have a question regarding. We would both agree. What's your ancestry? What's your
I'm Okinawan, Filipino, and part Hawaiian.
Okay, Okinawan, Filipino, part Hawaiian. Like many of us here, we're all mixed, right? Hawaii has a very diverse culture. We have Filipinos, Japanese, Okinawan, Chinese.
This is a well-known fact. Can we?
Okay.
What's your question?
Okay. My question, Mr. Chair, is that the statement was made that the beliefs or cultures or those with beliefs or cultures that do not support same-sex marriage have those beliefs or understanding rooted in fear, ignorance, and bigotry.
No, that's not what I said. I said that there's a multitude of beliefs, but I'm saying if your beliefs are indeed righteous, then you should stand strong in them and have confidence in them. I said if your beliefs are based on fear, lies, and bigotry, then they won't hold, because like all of those are considered lies in some extent. As your children discover the world, and if they find out that those are lies, they won't hold on to them. So if your values and parenting is indeed pono and righteous, they should stand strong in them. That is what I say.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that for all the places of national origin that have descendants here in the place of Hawaii, right? Mm-hmm. The Philippines, Japan, China, Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, right? They all have laws that support only traditional marriage.
Right, but
do you believe that their system of beliefs are founded in lies, ignorance, and bigotry?
No, that's a leading question. I'm not going to answer that. I did not say that.
I think this is just headed for an argument. So please let's move on. Anyone else have a question?
Putting words in my mouth, with all due respect, dear representative.
Anyone else have a question? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next testifier. Next testifier,
Thank you, Mr.
please.
Chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Lee. My number is 4975. I'm an ordinary state worker, a husband, and a father of 2 kids. And I'm opposed to this Senate Bill number 1. And let me say this. I've been always proud of being an American, and it's not in my script. And even now, I'm still proud of having this opportunity to testify before you. But then for the first time, as being an American, I feel so sorry and ashamed of what our government is doing. In particular, you display a level of the English language that is lower than an immigrant citizen like I am. And I'm sorry for that. Why? because you're distorting the language and setting a bad example for our kids. Not only that, you are defacing and degrading our Constitution, and that's not right. If you want to legalize same-sex marriage, that's fine. Let's do it porno. If I were one of those people, my fellow citizens who are raised in Aloha Leis, I would say this: let's do it, but let's do it porno. All right? Let's put in a vote. Let all the people to vote on that. And also, much has been said about how much money Hawaii is going to make by attracting foreign citizens to come here to engage in same-sex marriage. And I did some research in the case of the Netherlands and Canada. Both are popular destinations for Asian visitors. And I did the research and I didn't find any sensation like that. And if you are interested in that, I can tell you more later on. And thank you for the time, and God bless you. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha, my name is Yuan Wang. My number is 4893. I strongly oppose SB1 because my English is not good. Please allow my friends read for me. Thank you.
Okay. Proceed.
Marriage is between a man and a woman. We cannot change this definition. And also, I want my children to have a normal marriage between a man and a woman so that our offspring can continue. I love Hawaii and I care about this state. Many Chinese people came to Hawaii for honeymoon and tour. A lot of my friends have come here. And I got shocked when I saw them go shopping and buy plenty of stuff without thinking at Waikiki, at Waikeliwa Outlet, at Ala Moana Shopping Center. And also, a lot of Chinese parents send their children to Hawaii to study. I can say it's really popular right now. But none of the Asian countries legalize same-sex marriage. If this bill passes, it affects them came here because they may feel uncomfortable due to their traditional value. They may choose other states and countries. That will be our big loss. I strongly against SBY. It's not good for our society. Such an important issue cannot be rushed to pass. At least let the people vote. And someone had told me before I came here that I am a number only. I am just a number. Decision has already been made. I choose to believe I am not just a number. I am here in this room. So may God bless you all, give you wisdom and courage to say no to SB1. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Number 4970. Aloha, my name is Carson Tan, and I oppose SB1. SB1, which also as long as the Hawaii Marriage Equality Act of 2013. I strongly agree that we should treat all people with dignity and respect, and we should treat people equally as much as possible. However, I believe seeking equality under certain circumstances can be inappropriate and unreasonable. For example, a man who seeks equal rights as a woman to enter women's restroom is unreasonable, because by design, a women's restroom is built for women and should be reserved only for women. Restricting men from entering women's restroom is not an equality issue. Another example, a bus-only lane is by design reserved for buses. If I ask for allowing my personal vehicle on bus lane based on the reason that all vehicles are made equal, you will probably laugh at me and tell me that that's not an equality issue. In the same way, marriage is by design for a woman and a man, and it should be reserved accordingly. I just don't understand why would anyone consider this as discriminatory. United States of America is known for her upholding of individuals' rights and promoting equality among all people. If legalization of same-sex marriage is the right thing to do, I believe the founding fathers of this country would have done it over 200 years ago. So why didn't they do that? My answer is because it's not an equality issue. I respectfully ask you to vote no to SB1. And if it's necessary, please let the people make the further decision through the democratic process. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. One moment, please. Yeah, but the next week. Okay. All right, that was all of the testifiers up to the 5,000 mark. Those who are, so the next group we're taking is 5,000 to the end, which is 5182. So for those who missed their time slot before, between 1 and 1,000 could please come down now. That's 1 and 1,000. This is your second chance to testify. And if you could please line up, come downstairs and check in now. Okay, next testifier. Thanks.
Aloha and good afternoon. My name is Feng Fang Li, and my number is 5072. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I'm here to voice my strong opposition to Bill SB1. And I'm asking you, the lawmakers, to bravely say no to SB1. Family is human society's fundamental institution in which man and woman are bounded together by marriage. In fact, family and marriage existed in human history long before the birth of man-made laws because of marriage's natural characteristics. When man and woman are bonded in marriage, they carry out the work of human reproduction, which keeps human beings going on from generations to generations. With all due respect, the word marriage is only for a man and a woman. And I want to re-emphasize, this is a traditional marriage that thousands of us and the people of Hawaii has come to protect her. It's not a marriage of a single individual, not a marriage for you, for me. If every individual has his own definition of marriage, the human society will go to chaos, and we will redefine marriage in another 10 years, or maybe another 10 years. That will keep you very busy. And secondly, the impacts of changing and redefining marriage are long-term. Its impacts on our kids and our grandkids are greater than on us. Redefining marriage in a special session is not respectful to our children nor to your children. It is not responsible to our children or nor to your children. Thousands of people have testified in opposition of SB1, and you have heard of it. So if the House would pass it, then you did not listen to the people. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to voice my opposition to SB1.
Thank you very much. Next testifier, please.
Aloha. My name is John Hu. I'm a professor at UH. My wife and I came to the US from China more than 30 years ago.
Can you state your number?
5051. After receiving our PhDs from Cornell, we moved to Hawaii from New York 23 years ago. Our two children grew up in Hawaii. We love Hawaii and care a lot about Hawaii. Thank you for working so hard for our state. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity to share with you my own opinions on this important issue. 1, I respect people who have different opinions, perspectives, and desires. But I must say that homosexuality is not correct. We love the people, but against the things. 2, I strongly believe that a marriage should be between a man and a woman, between a husband and a wife, based on my Christian value. 3, as a father, I strongly believe it's for the best interest of my two children, for the best interest of my future grandchildren, and for the best interest of all the children in Hawaii to have a father and a mother in their families. In conclusion, please vote no to this bill. Please let people vote to make the final decisions. Thank you and mahalo. God bless you.
Thank you. Next up.
Aloha. My name is Min Wang. My number is 5050. I'm the wife of John Hu 5051. I oppose the bill SB1. I love the word equality. Because of equality, I chose to live in this great country called the United States of America. Equality means everyone should be treated the same. No one can force others to do anything or accept anything. This bill is not just about gay marriage. It's about concept and the principles for many generations to come. When I'm hospitalized, I don't want to be forced to stay with my roommate who was born to be a male but now desires and claims to be a female. My great-grandchildren shouldn't have to be forced to worry if the person in the next bathroom stall claims to be a boy but was born to be a girl. This is not equality. Also, do I have to accept the idea that the same transgender can marry to a male and also to a female at the same time under different genders, but the same person? The gay marriage concept is just the beginning and is a very complex marriage, which will eventually lead the society into a very confusing, manipulating, and a chaotic stage. As a concerned citizen, I'll be forced to accept it if this matter is rushed and the bill is passed. This is not equality. So please let the issue be decided by all the voters. Let there be true equality and vote no to this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Hi, my name is Linda Fong, and my number is 5115. I oppose SB1. If we say marriage is not about husband and wife, mother and father, where do we stop to redefine the marriage? If the marriage is the right to marry whoever you wanted to marry or whoever you love, is the fundamental civil rights, then let's ask these questions. How about someone wants to have 2 husbands, 2 wives, or someone in the name of the love wanted to marry their brother or their sister? Are you ready to answer those questions? There's somebody said, I think it is possible to love more than one person and have more than one partner. If that bill comes, are you ready to open the gate? There is another question. If a same-sex marriage is legalized, could the statement, children need a mother and father, be deemed as hate speech? Then how about classroom material? Consider a recent National Public Relations story about Boston. An 8th grader teacher that teaches about gay sex thoroughly, explicitly, and then when parents complain about it, he said, give me a break, it's legal now. Okay, now the last question. If the parents, birth mother, they want to give adoption, and they choose not give the gay marriage couple, will they be punished? Did you ask those questions? Did you have a decision? So I say stop it. Thank you.
Okay, next, please come up.
My name is Charlie Peterson. My number is 5135. I came down here earlier and listened and trying to be unbiased, and I really listened to the concerns and the pleas of the people. I saw the body language, the bitterness in the room. I listened to harmful words. I saw pride. I saw you as the leaders and representatives respond through body language. You could see agenda. You could see concerns. You could feel a sense of, I've already made my decision. My heart aches for the people here. There will never be a sense of equality in any place, but where we find this equality and peace is in the safety of our homes. This is where our children find a sense of peace where they can come home without the teachings that may be unnecessary and harmful to the soul. We have the freedom to raise our children how we want and teach them a foundation of certain beliefs, understandings, and can answer questions the way we find most respectable and teaching at certain ages. This should not be enforced on our families. Give us that respect. If you're going to throw a one-sided bill out on the people, show some respect. Give us refuge by allowing protection on our beliefs. By taking away our religious freedom, you will cause more harm on families in the state of Hawaii will suffer. To the committee members that will take my testimony to heart, I offer you my deepest gratitude. However, as of 9:50 on Friday night, it was clear that the sentiment of one representative that was, my laundry is pilau. It is both my sincerest hope that this representative's callous attitudes are not representative of the entire body, and this matter will be appropriately investigated by the House of Members, by the media, and by the people. With the permission of the chair and any additional members, I would like this conversation entered into the record. I have papers of the copy that it was stated, if you guys would like to see.
Okay, next.
Hola, Chair Rhodes, Chair Luke, and members of the committee. My number is 5155. My number is 5155, and my name is Andreas. I am 24 years old, and I'm a registered voter in the 31st District. I recognize that each of you deal with numerous issues on a daily basis that the public never sees. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank each of you. I originally had a different testimony prepared, but after following the special session since Monday, at this point, I realized whether I'm for marriage equality or traditional marriage, it's irrelevant. Everything that needs to be said on either side has been said. The real issue at hand is that you realize the vote you will make, it's not about whether you're for marriage equality or traditional marriage. It is whether you believe that SB1 is a sound, clear-cut, and predictable document that will make a well-written law. On Friday night, Judge Ahu testified, and on Saturday night, a lawyer by Mr. Rolfing testified, and many of you expressed legitimate concerns regarding the wording and interpretation of this bill. If you are completely confident that this bill is well-written and will make a good law, as is, then by all means, pass it. But if you even have a fleeting thought, a shadow of a doubt that this bill is unclear and could be legally problematic, then you owe it to the people as elected officials. You owe it to yourselves as intellectual individuals to either kill the bill or amend what needs to be amended. I do not claim to be a professional in any way, but hanging around the Capitol for a week, you tend to learn a few things. I learned that there are other bills regarding this issue, this same issue. I urge you to review House Bill 6, particularly sections 4 and 5. If this ordeal is really about equal rights, then let it truly be about equal rights for all parties. Thank you again for all of your hard work, your time, and your consideration.
Thank you. Next up.
My name is Micah Hood. I'm number 5102. I'd like to start out with just saying thank you for listening to everybody who's come through these doors, except for Ing, who would rather be on Facebook talking trash about the people that elected him instead of listening to what they say.
Okay, excuse me.
Oh, I'll continue.
Please refrain from making personal attacks.
All right.
But go ahead.
I'd also like to take a little bit of time to apologize to the gay community for the way that some Christians, I am a Christian, some way that they act towards you. You guys are humans and do not deserve to be treated any less than another human. You deserve civil rights, definitely, but marriage is not a civil right. Jesus is all about love. He always teaches love, but don't mistake love for tolerance of the lifestyle. Today I stand in opposition of Senate Bill 1, not because I'm opposed to gays and lesbians and transsexuals and bisexuals having civil rights. I'm opposed to the fact that after everyone has come and spoken here today and the other days, that we might still not have a voice in a vote in what's happening. Marriage is supposed to be a union that supports wholesome family values, and the gay lifestyle is high risk, results in things like AIDS and other STDs. I feel like the gay community does not want it to go to a vote because they know the Hawaiian people will vote this down. Hawaii does not want this bill to pass. We are the people, and you guys should listen to us. because when the next election comes around, you know, if you vote yes for this bill, we'll vote yes for somebody else, definitely. You know, a lot of people say it's bullying the minority, but America is a product of the majority. All of you sitting there are a product of the majority. Now, the majority of people have come back and asking you what to vote on this bill, and you should listen to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up.
Good afternoon, legislators. My name is James Tapulgo, and my number is 5101. Before I start my testimony, I just want to say that my testimony is not pilau. The reason thousands of people came here testifying against this bill is that we don't want 77 people change everything that has been set forth by the people that made the state unique than any other state in the United States. We also don't want 77 people that think they know what is best for the people of Hawaii. I strongly oppose to SB1. For most people that made it last week and today, they sacrificed leaving their families, their work, and even the responsibilities just to be here and testify. Every testimony against this bill is not all about religion exemptions or the future of the keikis. A bill threatening to change the traditions, the culture, the beliefs, and the lives of the people in Hawaii can't be decided in a very short time, especially from 76 people and the governor. As you can see, people are setting aside their religious beliefs and uniting together, opposing against this bill. First, I say today, kill this bill or let the people vote. Not letting the people of Hawaii vote for this issue is basically telling the people that they don't have the freedom of speech to say what they think about this bill. If this bill passes, this will greatly affect the lifestyle of the people in Hawaii and the generations to come. Thousands of citizens, from young in age to young in heart, have testified against this bill because they understand what SB1 will do in the future days to come. It is unacceptable to not let every single resident in Hawaii get a chance for their voices to be heard. Secondly, passing this bill will bully the majority of the people here in Hawaii. SB1 is the formula for destruction in families, schools, businesses, and even the leaders that will replace those who support this bill. SB1 will also pervert the meaning of marriage, just as it has in different places that legalize same-sex marriage. Not passing this bill is not discrimination to the gays and the lesbians. Discrimination for me is hatred to people that can't be changed. Being homosexual can obviously be changed, since it is a lifestyle and not something you get when you're born. Third, it's only been a week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I oppose this bill.
Aloha, my name is Daniel Franco Hugh Jr., number 5015. I am opposed to this bill, SB1. I am of Korean, Hawaiian, and Chinese descent. I'm here because of this process set forth by the United States of America. My mother was from Korea. She was sponsored by her sister who was married to an American citizen. She was able to live the American dream and become a citizen herself. I had the honor and a privilege of being part of a process as well a few years ago. I was summoned for jury duty. As many of us here, or maybe not, I tried to think of all the excuses to tell the judge why I didn't want to go into jury duty, from I love police officers to whatever it may be. But the judge said, you know what? Enough of this. This is the reason why we have jury duty. It's your duty as a citizen to be part of this. And he shared about the reasons why, and I was inspired. And after that, I was like, you know what, Judge? Let me do it again. We go, you know, and I was so bummed that I wasn't picked and the case was dismissed because I wanted to be part of that process. You know, I just ask you to allow this process to happen. You know, allow the voting process to happen. Don't speed it up. Slow it down. Take some time. You know, let's use some wisdom and discernment. You know, thank you so much for listening to all of our testimonies, but I don't know how, after this session is done, you can read through all 15,000 testimonies in a few hours to try to finish it tonight. You know, I just ask that you just allow the people to vote, allow this process to happen, because that's what was set forth to be fair. And no matter what side you stand on, we just want it to be fair, right? And that's what I ask you to do, just allow the process to happen. Please don't rush through this whole thing. Take some time, and if you are summoned to do jury duty, just do it. It's part of your duty, you know? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next up.
Hi, my name is Kupona Kuomoro. My number is 5016. So thank you guys so much for all that you're doing and for sacrificing your guys' time and your family's time to listen to us concerned citizens for this past week. It's an honor and privilege here to testify before you guys today. I'm 21 years old, and I'm strongly opposed to SB1. I was born and raised here, went to Moano High School. I played sports my whole life. I'm currently a college student, and I hope to be graduating next fall. I'm half Japanese, quarter Filipino, and quarter Hawaiian. And I'm also millennial, which means I'm on my phone way too much. I wear really tight pants. I'm on social media too much, and I drink too much coffee, despite my parents saying it was bad for me when I was growing up. News flies right over my head, and I don't really understand politics. I've never done this before. And I've never done this before because I've never been so passionate about a political issue so much before that caused me to come and testify before you guys today. I'm just like your kids. I've been raised up with the same values as you raised your kids up with. I represent the generation you're trying to impact and the generation that you're raising up to lead the future generations. But I refuse to stand by, like the rest of my generation and your kids are so accustomed to, and I want to take a stand against this bill. We are so used to letting our parents or our leaders handle everything. But you've heard a lot of us young people here this past week, and I think we have a unanimous voice that we all want to be heard. I stand here asking that you would let the people decide. Although I'm opposed to SB1 and I believe marriage should be between a man and a woman, I am not gay and I do not understand their viewpoint, their feelings or their desires. And our desire is that you as our representatives of the people would allow the people to decide. The special session can go on indefinitely and the small time frame is not enough to weigh both sides and come to a conclusion. So let us decide. Hopefully this bill will be on the next ballot. Letting us decide means that all of us have a say in this matter. It would honor all of us, those who flew in from neighbor islands, those who have been here all week, who took off from their jobs and who possibly been let go. So thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Next up.
Hi, my name is Grayson West. I'm 22 years old. I'm born and raised here in Hawaii. My number is 5023. I oppose SB1 because of the way we have decided to approach the passing of this bill. I believe that as a resident of the state of Hawaii, myself, as well as the people who call this place home, deserve to have our voices heard. When we elected you to your positions, we were thought to believe that you would represent us accurately. And by allowing this bill to pass as opposed to being put on a ballot shows that we really do not have a say in this matter. As a young adult, my biggest fear is allowing someone else's beliefs, someone else's agenda, and someone else's morals raise my kids. I believe passing this bill takes away my right as a parent to raise my kids how I see fit. I don't want my future, as well as the futures of many parents, to be one filled with opposition to what our kids are being taught. Lastly, in conclusion, I don't believe that taking away already established freedoms from one group to please another group's agenda brings equality to all parties involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Aloha. Aloha, Chair Rhodes and Chair Luke and others. I am Rosemary Sam Fong from the hills of Papakolea, and I most strenuously oppose SB1. My number is 5073. I am here in behalf of my children, grandchildren, and the primary and youth program that from my church that I represent and attend. When the bill was presented by the AG and his staff, almost immediately there were questions regarding it. The AG tried to answer the questions that were posed by the Senate and yourselves. It seemed that as time went on, there were lawyers and laypersons questioning certain parts of the bill as it relates to religious activities, use of buildings, businesses, and of course the Native Hawaiian community. What would it mean if this bill passed? With all of this and the amount of time spent on this bill, there are people here that still would like to see this bill passed as is. Shame. Shame on the AG and his staff for writing such a faulty bill, evident by the questions that was brought out. However, on the other hand, I am so grateful at the same time because it allowed Representative Har, Representative Jordan, and others to question the language of this written bill so that they can make changes to this bill to represent the majority of Hawaii's people and to give everyone rights that is deserving to them. I'm going to go off on a limb to say that it leads me to believe that the rush of this bill, this particular bill, is because there may be an undercurrent of things that we cannot see as lay people that is going on within our government. Marriage is between a man and a woman.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up.
My name is Lavena West. My number is 5164, and I declare it up front, I am really against this bill. Aloha kikahi e kikahi. This was the last commandment given by Jesus Christ before he ascended into the heavens. You are to love one another as I have loved you. My stance in this matter does not reflect in any way my inability to love despite differences. It's not religiosity. I assure you, though some may view it as such, nor am I a product of, quote, colonialism. I base my faith on experience, 68 years of experience, good and bad, and I have reviewed these terms of democracy and fully understand the rights of the minority is of concern with this legislative body. On the other side of the spectrum, I pose this question. What about the rights of the majority? You've had years to come up with a creative resolution without endangering the rights of all the people. Now faced with this issue one more time, hearing the testimony of both parties, that has become a burden I might add, that has been dumped upon your shoulders in as passing the buck. But you don't have to carry this burden by yourselves. Give it to the people and let the people decide. If the crux of this problem be social benefits for same-sex unions, then remedy their cause. Find the creative means and the ways to serve them too. Only don't do it at the expense of those who believe in the sanctity of marriage and family. The decimation of the traditional family is already on the rise. And as if our children don't have enough to contend with, I speak on behalf of my mo'opuna as their grandma, who are too young to understand the ramifications of this bill if it is passed into law the way it is written. This bill, which has already began to divide families and friends.
Thank you very much. Next up, please come up.
Hi, my name is Michael Chinen, and my number is 5022. Honorable Chairs Rhodes and Luke and members of the House Judiciary and Finance Committees, thank you so much for this opportunity to share my voice with all of you. I'm 21 years old, born and raised here on Oahu. I believe sharing my voice is an important role as a citizen of the United States. This is actually my first time doing this, and I really feel like this was an issue where it was important enough, something that I really believe that I need to be here and share my voice with all of you. I believe that my voice from my generation is important. And the assumption is that my generation doesn't care about this issue or that we're all in support of SB1. But that's not the case. My belief is strongly opposing this bill. And I believe that there are so many people that do not have a chance to speak up for themselves or what they personally believe in. But as an individual that is speaking up, I ask that you give these people a chance to decide and vote so that their voices may be heard as well as mine right here. And I was thinking about this. The only generation that can speak up for the generations after us is this one. And if we don't stand for righteousness, who will stand for the righteousness for them? Thank you very much, and I am strongly opposed to SB1. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, please come up.
Aloha, my name is Deborah Komatsu, ID number 5034. I oppose Senate Bill 1. Marriage between a man and a woman is ordained of God, and the family is central to the Creator's plan. I'm a proud mother of 6 children, and currently I have 6 grandchildren. In 1996, I filed for divorce, and the legal system in the state of Hawaii required parents to attend a meeting teaching the parents to put the kids first. If the state of Hawaii requires this of divorcing parents, I urge you, as our House of Representatives, to consider SB1 and put the kids first. I'm here to be a voice for the children of traditional marriages. They are the future generation, citizens, and leaders of Hawaii. For example, if a house is purchased, people usually check out their environment, the community, and the schools and do the research prior to signing the contract of the house. Same with SB1. Do not feel you need to make a rush decision. As each of you elected officials are voted in by the citizens of Hawaii, I ask you to educate yourselves and research this bill further. I urge you to take the ample time needed to be educated on the ripple effects of Hawaii, the effects and consequences, and the children growing up and the populations that they will face. For example, children being educated in our school systems by dedicated teachers, my son is one of these teachers, will leave because they are not in compliance with SB1. These children will lose these good dedicated teachers. Currently, SB1 focuses on adult needs. My thoughts and prayers are for the children of Hawaii as minors. They deserve the right to have SB1 researched and have the clear bill, kill the bill, or let the people vote. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
My number is 5044. Is that correct? So my name is Cameron Komatsu, and I was born and raised here, and I'm 19. We live in a world where our society has been slowly strayed from the path to righteousness. This incomplete bill is a catalyst for the corruption of our rising generations. My brother shared with me an experience that happened on Saturday night. He is a coach for Campbell High School football team in this game against Kahuku. One of the Kahuku players became very injured. He was laying on the field unconscious and blood pouring out of his mouth. My brother said that the Kahuku players became angry and they marched forward. A riot seemed inevitable. When my brother looked back at his players, he saw that one of the team leaders gathered his players, got on their knees, and began to pray for this player. As soon as that happened, the Kahuku players got on their knees and joined them. In this time of turmoil, the young players remember to get on their knees and pray for the health of this player. I say these things so that we may also look up to these young players as examples in this time of opposition, that we may do the same. I'm sorry to copy A Miracle on 34th Street, but I hold in my hand $1. And on this dollar, it says, "In God we trust." I urge you to do the same thing. And about this deal about whether being gay is a choice or not, God created all men equal, but God also gives unto men weakness, that they may be humble, and so that these weaknesses may become strengths. Whether you are born gay or not, it is a trial that is given to you to conquer and grow from. And if you do not believe me, I challenge you, I double dog dare you to pray. Exercise even the smallest particle of faith in the words that I say, and you will know that what I say is right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Hello, Madam Chair Luke, Chair Rhodes, esteemed members of this joint committee. My legislative special session ID number is 5038. I was hoping for 6,000, but I'll take what I can here. And with that said, I'll sacrifice 2 hours of vacation time from work to come here and just express my heartfelt testimony here. For those of you that I had the honor and pleasure of testifying in past legislative session as a SHOPO president of the union, I'm not here for that purpose. For those of you that have the honor and pleasure of testifying before on law enforcement measure as a 25-year veteran currently serving in the Honolulu Police Department, which I do so proudly. But I'm here to testify on behalf as my role as a father of 3 daughters and a lovely wife of 26 years. As a law enforcement officer with these types of measures, if it does pass, first and foremost, I am opposed to Senate Bill 1. This type of bill and the language as it's written, from a law enforcement, law-abiding citizen, you will turn me into a lawbreaker. For no one man or woman will tell me when to pray, how to pray, where to pray. With that said, this is my Bible. the word of God. I boldly declare it is the highest law in the land. I am what it says I am. I have what it says I have. I do what it says I do. I am a citizen of heaven.
Okay.
The injustices that has been rendered from this process, from the governor down to his chief of staff, to the AG, and for those of you who declared your position at the preliminary stages of this special session being ordered, has been served on the LGBT community and those who oppose this bill. And lastly, unfortunately, for those of you right here at the legislative body, you have unjustly been given this heat that's so unnecessarily, but it comes with the territory. When I say this, I say it with a humble heart. Justice delayed, justice denied. I say this: justice rushed is justice lost for all. Choose life, people.
Thank you.
Choose to be free.
Okay. Please come up. Again, if I could ask the audience members, for the respect of the testifiers and the members, if you could refrain from comments. Please proceed.
Thank you. My number is 5087, and my name is Chad Armstrong, and I oppose this bill. I am a husband and a father of 3 boys, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an 8-month. And I'm really scared and afraid for them, for the future. I grew up as a child where I could play outside and be able to feel comfortable in the lifestyle that I grew up in. And I see a total difference now. I see how afraid I am for them, for the choices that they don't have a choice. When I play with them at home and when I spend time with them, I see how impressionable they are by the things that you do, by the things that you say. And in time, we can't be there for them all the time. And to be able to protect them and watch out for them. Me and my wife, we spend many hours praying and wondering how we can, what schools we should take them to, how to protect them, and this is not a way that's going to help that. It's going to make it harder. I'm a bishop of a congregation of 650 plus people, and I have many opportunities to see how sexual sin affects the lives of our families and our children. Have many people come in to talk to me to see them. One thing that's not part of this bill is how the effects of family is in there, how divorce happens, how they hurt. They come to me wondering, what can I do? People who have these problems or any sexual problems, how to get over it. They don't address that in this bill. As a bishop, I have many opportunities to do that and to see children just confused and wondering, what am I going to do? I pray that we may take a second look at this. I fear for my family, for the eternal perspective of our family. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
My name is Christopher Kia Okalani Kamau. My number is 5089. I am opposed to SB1 in this special session. I've played sports a lot in my life, and while growing up, you lose some, you win some. You're not happy with the losses, and neither are the fans, but you're most unhappy with the games where you feel like the refs took the game away from you. And I feel like that's what's happening here. I feel like the refs have stepped in and took the game away from the players. I want to stress that we keep the integrity of the process. I agree with many that pushing a bill through such as this in a special session does not give it due process. If you're not going to give the people the opportunity to vote on this, at the very least, give it due process in a full, normal session. The amount of evidence being presented before you these past few days needs to be weighed, and you don't have enough time to weigh it. There are a lot of gray areas in this bill, and it's been testified by law professionals that it will burden the judicial system. And if I had time, I could give you an example recently of where our small business was sued by a frivolous lawsuit, and it costs a lot more money to go to court as a business in the state of Hawaii than an individual. I've briefly read HB 6, and it seems like it has clearer wording and provides better protections. I believe that there are equal benefits to all. There can be equal benefits to all. I've heard testimony and proof that homosexuality is genetic, but the proof that I've heard I could also turn to show how it's not, which also proves that we need to look at this evidence a little more and weigh it and consider the sources. I'm also a father of 3 daughters, and I want the right to be able to teach them what I want them to hear. I am also troubled by Representative Ng's post on Facebook, where he stated that our tests that let them
Excuse me.
Yes.
We're asking the testifiers not to refer or make personal attacks on any members, as we have reminded testifiers not to make any insults on Senator He.
Okay, I'm just saying that I was offended by it, and that's it.
Go ahead.
Vote no on SB 10, or the SB1, sorry. And I don't believe any of the founding fathers ever said they don't believe in God. Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you. Next up.
Hi, my name is Leonard Swan. My number is 5084. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to testify today. I am here this afternoon as a husband, parent, and teacher in our public school system, and I stand in strong opposition to SB1. Hearing the testimonies over the last week has shown how passionate the people of Hawaii are in reserving the marriage covenant between one man and one woman. My wife and I have watched the testimonies since last Monday and have been encouraged by the call to stand for what is right. We've also heard of the many questions that have yet to be clarified, such as the possible changes to our school curriculum and allowing parents to have their child opt out of this curriculum. And those two areas would affect me deeply as a father and also a teacher. As a teacher, I want my students to always think and problem solve in given situations. I encourage them to continue with a problem or situation even when it gets hard or frustrating, because most often they will find the answer through this struggle. I encourage them to think before acting. But in this case with SB1, it seems that many in our government who we trust want to act before thinking about many of the questions that have been brought up over the last week. As a fourth grade teacher, I try to instill in my students a call to do things pono, even when it is a difficult thing to do. I understand the decision you need to make may be one that you find very difficult, but as you prepare to make a decision, remember the testimonies you've heard over the last week and of the overwhelming majority who have spoken to uphold traditional marriage. And I kind of want to emphasize that, the overwhelming majority. I saw a man who said that the testimonies we've seen is not an accurate picture of how the people of Hawaii feel, but only shows those who could come down and make it. I am sure that those in opposition also have jobs, children, and other responsibilities, but they made it a point to let their voice be heard. I have seen families over the last few days give up Halloween, and I know for me, I'm a teacher, it's hard for kids to give up Halloween, and even their Saturdays, so I oppose SB1. Thank you.
Next up, please come up.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman Luke and Rhodes and the representative. My name is Darryl Sue, and I'm number 5151. I'm a small business man owning 4 different businesses here in Honolulu. A catering company, lunch wagon business for over 28 years. A private badminton club, Honolulu Badminton Club, with over 360 members. 2 noodle factories, which I recently purchased. One is called Crown Noodles, one is called Modern Macaroni Hula Brand. And a combined of over 140 years in business in Hawaii. On behalf of all my businesses, members of my club, and employees, we strongly oppose SB1. In terms of economic and business, we can promote the state for tourism, business, or migration to Hawaii, to the Aloha state, to the people from Canada, all over America, and all over the world, because we are a pono state. They say being a male is a matter of birth. Being a man is a matter of age. Being a gentleman is a matter of choice. And also being a female is a matter of birth. Being a woman is a matter of age. But being a lady is a matter of choice. So we don't need a rocket scientist to tell us what is right or wrong. Just look at the mammals or animals. They know what is right or wrong. You don't see 2 male elephants going at it, or 2 female baboons having sex. I think we are worse than them. Please don't stir up the water from a perfect picture pond. You don't know what is in the pond itself. Like my brother says, if we break the law, we go to jail. But whoever says yes to this bill, you are breaking a nature's law. Please vote no, kill the bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
Aloha, my name is Jay Amina. My number is 5138. I'm the senior pastor of Ark of Safety Christian Fellowship in beautiful Waianae, Hawaii. Over 1,000 members strong. Thank you, Representative Joe Jordan. I strongly oppose SB1. Kill the bill.
Can I, is your name Burkhart Itavali?
My name is J. Amina.
Okay, what, can you read your number again?
Number 5138.
Okay, can somebody recheck his J what?
Amina, A-M-I-N-A. I have it right here.
J-A-Y?
Yes. Amina, A-M-I-N-A.
Can somebody help him because we don't have him on the list?
This morning when I registered in, I had number 5182. And when I registered, they gave me this number for whatever reason.
5182. 5182 is somebody else too. Can Sergeant at Arms help him, and then we'll pull you back in line as soon as we verify your. And the reason why we're doing this, members in the audience and the representatives as well, is we just wanted to be very open and take as many testifiers as we can.
What do you want me to do?
No, they'll help you, and then we'll pull you back in line. Okay. Next.
My name is Daniel Kaneshiro, number 5032. Honorary Chairman Rhodes, Luke, and committee members. Mahalo for your patience and your committee's dedication to hearing all our testimonies. I'm very impressed. Thank you again. Mahalo for those of you who stand with me in strong opposition to SB1. Mahalo also for those of you who thought you support SB1, but will now vote against this bill for one or more of the following reasons. Number one, you now understand that SB1 is fundamentally flawed in multiple areas, the primary one being this is a moral issue, not one on civil rights. Number two, you now understand that you have been elected by the people to represent the people, all the people, not just those that represent less than 1% of the people. Three, you now understand that an important issue such as this cannot be made law in a few days just because the government wants it. Or four, you're changing your mind because you now understand that credibility of the political process is at stake when the whole state watches live on TV the overwhelming opposition to SB1 and expects you to vote accordingly. Mahalo also to those of you who will vote for SB1, not for your vote, but for serving in public office. I have a special prayer for all of you. Thank you, God, for all the gay people, the governor, all those in the Senate and House of Representatives. We are encouraged because the greatest apostle in the New Testament was Paul. But at one time he was Saul, a persecutor of Christians and of their values. But on the sacred road to Damascus, not in a church and in the absence of clergy, the Holy Spirit came down on Paul and lifted his blindness to see the truth.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next, please come up. Before you come up, Mr. Kuroda, were you able to take care of it? Okay, please come up.
Okay. Let's try not to let that happen again. It's the third time. Aloha, my name is J. Amina. My number is 5138. I am senior pastor of Ark of Safety Christian Fellowship in God's country, Waianae, with over 1,000 members strong. And again, I said to Representative Joe Jordan, mahalo. I strongly oppose SB1. I'd like to say and stand strongly and say, kill the bill. I am true Hawaiian, 75% Hawaiian. Kanaka Maole. My father was pure Hawaiian, Bene Amina. My mom is Hawaiian, Chinese and Japanese. Her maiden name was Kamaka Vivaole. Iz and I are first cousins. He was the only true Hawaiian allowed to have his celebration of life memorial here in the Rotunda. My testimony is to share in the spirit of aloha. The word aloha has three meanings. It means welcome, I love you, and if you are a visitor, we would say aloha by meaning farewell. Maybe for some of you that have visited our islands, have stayed here much too long and don't appreciate our aloha, maybe we need to say to you farewell. Being born and raised as a son of Hawaii for over 50 years, my parents and kupuna have taught us to love one another and care for the aina. And if there is any pilikia, that means problems, they were to bring together and ask forgiveness. This was the way of life and the way we live today. Aloha and malama, the aina, which is to love and care for the people of our land. 5,000 of us came throughout the week. Many that had protected for their children, their livelihood, and their livestock. We are people of Hawaii. We are not like any other state. SB1 is not accepted here in Hawaii. It is an abomination.
Thank you very much.
Of God.
Okay, and then
Mahalo.
just for members' clarification, the testifier inverted his number. It's 5183. Okay, at this point, it's a good time to take questions. Any questions, members? Representative McDermott.
Madam Chair, I'll have questions for two separate people. First, Mr. Malafala Teneri. Thank you for coming and thank you for your service to our community in many ways.
Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Malafala, you are a fairly high-profile individual in the community. And I think it required courage for you to step forward. Have you been counseled by some folks said, hey, bro, don't get involved. It's only going to hurt you. Come back and bite you, things of that nature.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, thank you for your kind words. I'm just a humble servant, just loving the people of Hawaii, or visitors alike. No doubt, I've received a lot of criticisms. Like many of us here in opposition of this bill, we have family members who are on the other side that have this lifestyle. But guess what? In Hawaii, we don't call them gay. We don't call them mahus. We call them cousins, brothers, sisters. So yes, sir, I'm here against opposition, against many friends and families. But I stand by my beliefs. I'm not going to let any man, woman, or child tell me how to believe, how to pray, and how to live my lifestyle.
Okay. So you also, Samoan culture, you guys have the fa'afafine, which is a widely accepted part of the culture, correct? But they don't marry, that's still reserved for a man and a woman, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Teneri. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next.
Chair,
Other
Chair,
testifier.
I have
wait, Representative McDermott, Representative Ward has a question for the same testifier.
Ma'afala, if you could come back for a second. Being that you were, as a career policeman, you testified that this will turn you into a lawbreaker. You're going to arrest yourself after this thing goes through, or what?
No, sir, I'm going to arrest people. Well, let me step back. Like I said, first and foremost, as a law enforcement officer, as I stand before you, I respect and honor all laws as a law enforcement officer. As a citizen of 52 years in this beautiful island state, I'm a law-abiding citizen. The same values I teach my wife, my children, my 10 other siblings, and the 40 or so nieces and nephews and 19 grandchildren for my mom. The bottom line is this. The day I retire and bills like this are introduced, I will never, ever honor such law. You would have to kill me to disrespect and dishonor my Father in heaven. You would have to kill me to impose these type of laws upon my children and my nieces and my nephews. That's what I'm saying.
The other question I had, Mr. Mafala, was that you said that justice rushed is justice lost. Could you elaborate on what you meant by that?
Yes, sir. That's what's happening. And like I said earlier, I feel for all of you right here. I can understand. Again, prematurely, when this was first introduced, a lot of you had already showed your hands, which side of the fence you stand on, whether you're supporting this bill or not. And then here, in this whole hearing, this last week or so, I've been here just as long as you have, and maybe even longer than some of you have. But again, like I said, I feel for all of you, that this have been imposed upon you by the governor, his chief of staff, and then the AG, who only can give answers of, I believe, but never I know in fact. I think. Come on. You're the highest paid legal advisor in this state. Come with some answers that are emphatic, that are facts, and not something that, oh, I believe so, or I think so. Even as an officer in doing my cases, I would never tell a victim of a case or even a suspect. It's based on facts, probable cause, just cause. That attorney general should abide by the same thing. So unfortunately for all of you, by the will of the governor, you have faced the wrath of the people, both sides of the fence. And like I said, the injustice has been served on the LGBT people. You guys have not given them a chance to put something on the table to address their needs. And then if we're talking about parliamentary rules, majority does rule. As a union president, that's how I run business, based on Robert's rules, the majority rules. Yeah, there's a flip side from a humanistic standpoint. If you're talking majority, majority doesn't always prevail. It's true. For the minority, we as government leaders, we listen to what the majority has said, but we also listen to what the minority are saying as well. We're not oppressing them. Okay, let's address their needs and their concerns as well.
Thank you for putting a plug into the minority that sometimes I am extremely a member of. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Mafala.
Madam Chair.
Same person.
I have a couple questions for Mr. Mafala. I have.
Okay.
And just to let you know, Madam
Make
Chair.
sure I don't remind you guys again. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Madam Chair, it's just got to thank the law enforcement officer here. It's because of law enforcement officers like this that I'm a law-abiding citizen today. Obviously, you run to one law enforcement officer like this is hard to run contrary against the law. But I have a question for you, Mr. Mafala. As a someone, are you full-blooded someone?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever had people mispronounce your name? Have you ever in your life experienced discrimination or things related to that?
Yes, sir.
So you know what discrimination looks like, and you know what discrimination doesn't look like.
Yes, I definitely do, sir. And if I could just elaborate a little bit. The interpretation and application of discrimination is so blown out of proportion.
Let me stop you right there. What's your next question?
Well, I would like to hear his answer in response to that, into that question.
Chair, please let the questioner proceed. Please.
Representative Ward, can you not
I'm not interrupting. You're interrupting, madam.
No, Representative Ward.
Thank you.
Representative Ward. Representative Ward. If we're not going to be courteous with each other, we're never going to end this hearing. So if you could please refrain from interrupting others, but
Thank
please
you,
go ahead.
I shall.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as it relates to discrimination, no doubt, sir, I've been discriminated against. My whole family, we've been discriminated against. Like being the minority in this beautiful island state of ours still, we get discriminated against. But what I was trying to say, there's two types of discrimination. No doubt, if you're going to discriminate against race, color, creed, religion, then that's wrong. But it's not wrong to discriminate against something that's not in line with your beliefs based on biblical foundations and the like.
Okay. The last question I had is, this is something that's important to me, and I would like, given your leadership role in the community, as a legislator, are we addressing the right priorities? As a law enforcement officer, you see a lot of the things that go on in the state of Hawaii. I believe that the 80,000 children who live in poverty in the state of Hawaii should be priority. Do you believe that we have more pressing issues in the state of Hawaii that need to be addressed?
Yes, sir.
And if you had the power to call a special session, Mr. Mafala, give me one or two things that you would call a special session in regards to.
It'll be for the homeless. Homeless. There's people out there that needs things that this should be put. All this effort right here should be put towards addressing our homeless problems, because it has a direct impact not only on society itself, but every person of this state. So homelessness is one thing, and then of course as a law enforcement officer, you guys will never see the ugliness of paradise until you see it through an eye of a police officer. The ICE epidemic in Hawaii, state legislators, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mafala.
Any other questions for any other testifiers? Representative Carroll.
Thank you, Chair. Is Pastor Amina still here? I think he stepped out.
No, he's coming.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon, Pastor.
Good afternoon. Aloha.
I don't know if you remember me. I'm the Maui legislator that used to come to your church because my sister had 2 children that was baptized in your church, and so I was able to participate.
Thank you.
And my parents have a homestead in Waianae, so every
you
time
very
that I would come to your church.
Thank
and
you.
I
You are
just wanna
welcome,
say-
and everyone else is welcome also.
And I just want to say thank you because I also have another sister who is also gay, and not ever once did you folks ever treat her any differently. My question to you is, I'm not sure, were you able to read Senate Bill 1? Because I'm going to ask you about, there's a part in the bill in regards to the concern that has been coming up recently in regards to Native Hawaiian entitlements and parentage and so forth. And so I guess my question to you, because I know that your church has majority Native Hawaiians and families and so forth, has there been any situation where maybe one of your members may have had a situation with adoption and felt discriminated because they couldn't get entitlements because of their situation with their birth certificate?
First of all, to answer that, I'm not too familiar with the point that you are trying to draw.
Okay.
But yes, we have had many adoptions in the church as well, among our peers and our members, and we work quite often real close with them. So the question that you are addressing to me is,
The question,
once more.
Okay, the question is, if you have any members that have come to you as a pastor, someone where maybe your members are going for advice or counsel, that you've had a situation with that kind of concern.
We had many situations as such. I have counseled and advised them in many ways to help assist them. And we would never, ever turn them away or condemn them for what they feel they are or what they're going through. But we teach them biblical principles to help them bring them through the crises, the adversities, and challenges that they are faced with. So yes, we do assist them, advise, counsel, and help them in that area.
And then my second question is, I know you testified opposing Senate Bill 1.
Yes.
But if this bill shall move forward, have you had a chance to read House Bill 6? And if so, would there be language in there that you could support as a way of compromise?
Are you asking me if some of my bylaws would be adjusted in my
No,
church?
just if in looking at amendments, and if you haven't read House Bill 6, you don't need to answer that question.
Okay, I haven't read House Bill 6.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
thank
thank
you.
you.
so welcome.
Representative McDermott.
Can I have the lady from Boston, or I was talking about the Boston education issues in New England area? Is she still here or is she gone? Well, I guess I lost out. Okay, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Har.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is 5084 still here? Leonard Swan? Good afternoon, Mr. Swan. Thank you for being here and thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, did you say you're a public school teacher?
Yeah, 4th grade teacher.
Okay, so Are you a member of HSTA?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are you aware that your union endorsed this bill?
I was made aware of it over the last couple days. Yes.
So did the members have an opportunity to have a say?
No.
Okay.
We were not made aware of it or given a choice or say.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Any other questions? If not, thank you, testifiers. We'll take the next set of testifiers.
Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Lamb, and my number is 5171. I first want to honor and thank you for being willing to carry the mantle of representing us, the people of Hawaii. I know it's a title you don't take lightly, and is a load and often a burden that comes with a high price to you and your families. I know you cannot please everyone, and so I thank you for earnestly listening to the hundreds of testimonies. I know it's exhausting on your minds and bodies. I strongly oppose SB1. I know it's hard to be completely objective because we are coming from some sort of foundational belief system, but I choose to believe that innate in your being and in my being is the desire to do what is right. And so I urge you, no matter what pressure or negative ramifications you are facing, to please, please don't rush this bill, and to please carefully consider your vote, because it will have lasting consequences on our families. One thing that has made our country strong is that we have been taught by our parents and our grandparents to take responsibility for our actions, and that our choices and your choices affect not only our lives, our families and careers, but our community, our state, and our country. You are in positions of influence today with the wonderful potential and the ability, and yes, the sobering responsibility, to stand up for righteousness and liberty. Liberty is the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, and political views. In your attempt to bring equal rights to everyone, please do not sacrifice the liberty of the majority of our people. This issue is very complex with serious and life-changing ramifications for all of us, and therefore it deserves to have more thought and time put into it. And so please do not pass this bill, but rather give the people an amendment to vote on and let them demonstrate whether or not they truly want to change what they so strongly voted for in 1998.
Thank you very much. Next, please come up.